have a survivor here today, Martin Baranek, who is 90 years old. He resides in Toronto, and he was liberated from Gunskirchen, the camp that you liberated, as you know. So, Alan, meet Martin. Martin, meet Alan.
Hi, Martin.
Hi, my name is Martin Baranek. I was born on August the 15th, 1930. When the sending away the Jews from our town, I put my name on with an age of 19, that I was 8 years older than I really was. I stayed out in the camps for several years because I ran away from the train that were shipped away later on to Treblinka, I believe it was. But I ran away and smuggled my way in to the labor camp, because in our town, there were two labor fronts. One was Starohovice and one was for soft work, for women and so on. I stole my way in there and held out for quite a while because I was very young, and I wound up in Mauthausen. From Mauthausen, I stayed several months there, and then we were shipped out to Austria, and the war was ended at that time. And the rest of my story is a little bit complicated because I was very young, very short, and I had to lie about my age. And from there, I went away on an illegal trip to Palestine. And I lived the rest of the years in Palestine and in the Israeli army until we found out that my mother is alive, and we met each other. And I went away later on to Palestine, joined the army there. And after a while, I went to meet with my mother that I hadn't seen since the middle of August, 1930. No, more than 30. I was born at 30, about 1940. 44.
About when you were liberated?
Pardon?
When you were liberated?
I was liberated on August
the 4th, 1945.
May the 4th.
That's correct.
Yeah,
August
May-
I mean, sorry, May the 4th, May the 4th.
42.
May 4th.
45.
And you were liberated by,
I was liberated by the Americans.
Martin, were you in Gunskirchen?
Yes. I was liberated from Gunskirchen. That was
Gunskirchen. We
Oh, we have a
liberated.
reunion now.
time.
We have a wonderful reunion.
Oh, I see.
he liberated.
Yes, I was liberated there.
That was May 4th, 1945.
That's
Was a-
correct, that day.
It was a Friday late in the afternoon or early evening. I remember that day very well. And if you were in that camp,
There too?
He was in the army.
was I there too? Yeah, I was there.
It was a liberator, yeah.
After so many years, it's nice to see somebody else that came out from those places alive.
Martin, I was an American soldier with the 71st Division that liberated Gunskirchen on May 4th, 1945.
So how could you be at that time and being in the American army?
I was 18.
He was a soldier.
I was a soldier.
For the American army.
You're a good man. You
We know
waited.
that.
Was coming a little sooner.
I
You know,
always,
it's great to see this reunion. You know,
Martin, I always tell everybody that anybody that survived what we saw in Gunskirchen, it's a miracle, because you know how bad it was there, the starvation and the dead bodies and the skeletal life. And if you
Nobody
survived
can give it
Gunskirchen,
to them.
you deserve kudos because you had to be a strong man to survive that hellhole.
But I did it,
Yeah, you're here.
and I went on an illegal ship to Palestine at the time.
Okay.
Thanks to the army. You
Thanks to the
survived.
army,
You were
right.
liberated thanks to
I'm-
the American army.
Well, yes, I was liberated with the American army,
Yeah.
but after a while, we didn't have where to go. They wanted to send us to the land of birds, to Poland. And I was, as a 14-year-old boy, I know I'm not going back to Poland. And eventually I went away into Palestine.
You know,
Martin,
Little sign off.
Martin,
you.
let me try to refresh your recollection a little bit. When you were in Mauthausen, did you go on what they called a death
Yes.
march from Mauthausen to Gunskirchen?
Yes, yes,
That's what many of the survivors told me, that they had gone on a death march from Mauthausen to Gunskirchen.
that's the place I went to.
Okay, and many of them were Hungarians. They said
Hungarian-
Ungar.
Yeah. About they were 1 in 20 of us. There were a few Hungarians. They never been in a camp.
Yeah,
Never seen a German before, and they fell like flies.
right.
They couldn't sleep, they couldn't live without eating. And we were used to live without eating. And
Starvation.
at night, they had an extra pair of shoes.
They were.
I don't know if you remember those. They had an extra pair of shoes. And we didn't have shoes for a long time already. So we stole, or we took one of theirs. We had shoes to go to the end of the war.
Martin, were you, any other members of your family survived the Holocaust? Can you hear me?
Of
I
the
want to
members
know,
of the Holocaust. Of the members of how many members of your family survived the Holocaust?
Well, it depends what how
And your
far
mother.
the
Yeah.
family goes. If you mean your parents by
yes,
parent-
mother, father, brother, sister.
no, my father was killed in Auschwitz a
Okay,
very short time after we came there. My mother was sent somewhere else. She survived, and
Brother
a brother of mine was not survived.
in
Nobody
Treblinka.
survived. I was the only one for my family to survive.
Yeah,
As-
Martin and Alan, Martin and Alan, I would hope that this is the beginning of a friendship and relationship between the two of you that you should carry on beyond this moment.